Welcome! Today, we're diving deep into one of my favorite storytelling secrets. It's a technique that's designed to throw you right into the deep end of a story and make sure you never want to leave.
You know that feeling, right? You start a movie or you crack open a new book, and there's no slow build-up, no once upon a time. You're just there, bam, right in the thick of it all. So why do storytellers do this? What's the big idea?
Just picture this. The screen lights up and a ship is getting absolutely thrashed by these giant waves and a screaming wind. You have no idea whose ship it is, where it's headed, or how it got into this mess. All you see is this immediate, frantic fight for survival.
Or how about this one? Our hero is already on the ground, beaten down, and the villain is standing over them, ready to deliver that final blow. You're immediately asking, wait, what? How did we get here? How did they lose? The questions just start firing off in your head.
And sometimes the whole thing is scaled up. We're dropped into a galaxy where a war has been raging for years, or a world that's already on the brink of total collapse. We haven't seen the beginning. We've just been thrown into a massive, critical moment.
So, this feeling of total chaos, this burning need you have for answers, that is not an accident. Nope, it is a very deliberate, very clever choice. So, let's pull back the curtain and look at this incredible storytelling secret.
Okay, so the official name for this trick is in medias res. It's a fancy term for a simple idea. You start your story right in the heat of the action, totally skipping the chronological beginning.
Now, you might be thinking this is some modern thing, for our short attention spans, but you'd be wrong. This is not a new Hollywood invention. This technique is ancient. We're talking thousands of years old.
The term itself is actually Latin, and it literally translates to into the middle of things. I mean, how perfect is that? It's not just a description, it's basically the instruction manual for the storyteller.
The ancient Greek and Roman poets absolutely loved this. Their epic poems would often kick off with a war already in full swing or a hero deep in some crisis. The tradition carried on through literature because it creates such a powerful sense of immediacy and suspense. And today, well, it's everywhere. It's a cornerstone of modern storytelling in movies, books, and especially video games that have to hook us from the very first second.
Okay, so this brings up a really important question, doesn't it? If you're starting in the middle, how in the world do you fill in the beginning? How does the audience figure out what they missed? Well, storytellers have a whole toolkit for this. In medias res is the hook, right? It gets the action going. Then they use a couple of key tools to fill us in. The first is the flashback. The classical term is actually analepsis, which, jumps back in time to show us exactly what happened. The other big one is exposition, which is when we learn important background details through things like character dialogue or a bit of narration.
So, let's get to the big question. Why does this work so well? Why has this one technique survived for literally millennia? What's the magic behind starting in the middle?
It really boils down to three powerful things. First, it creates instant dramatic tension. We have to know what's going on, so we're leaning in, totally focused. Second, it engages us immediately. There's no time to get bored. We are invested from the word go. And finally, it opens the door for really complex nonlinear storytelling, feeding us information out of order to create mystery, surprise, and honestly, a much deeper story. And there you have it, the art of starting in the middle. It's a technique that really trusts the audience to keep up, and it turns us from just passive watchers into active detectives, piecing the puzzle together. Knowing this doesn't just make you appreciate stories more, it fundamentally changes how you experience them. So now that you know the secret, I'll leave you with this thought. If you were the one telling the story, what middle would you start with?